Following up on last week's episode, we've clicked publish on Amazon and we're now live. Why is it the only sound we're hearing is crickets? Well, either during or immediately after the publishing of our first book, we've got to begin the incredible task of growing our audience all by ourselves. This is scary, hard, and takes perseverance. Luckily, you're awesome and you've got this. Today, I'm going to tell you how. What works, what doesn't, and what you should put your greatest effort into. I'm author DC Ferguson, and this is the Writing Dojo. Before we get started, would you like to work with me? Are you an avid reader? If so, I'd love to have you join DC Ferguson's reading group. Get the Dragon's Dream Saga totally free, and all you have to do is leave an honest review on Amazon for me. So, if you're able to leave reviews on Amazon and love to read, fill out the form in the comments below, and I'll get you started with Project Phoenix. I love you. So, you finished your first novel, and now it's time to start making bank, right? Well, maybe, but probably not. Unless you've got incredible amounts of money to throw around, know a fair bit about book marketing, or have an extensive network of friends and family shamelessly promoting you, odds are crickets are the only sound you're hearing. Now, I've tried a few things in my efforts to build up an audience, especially when I first started out. So, let's kick this off with everything you never want to do. Now, the first thing is, I covered this last week, but it bears repeating here. Do not price your book as free to draw in, entice, or otherwise beg for attention on your work. The only thing that this does is attract those bargain hunters that are more concerned with amassing a pile of free books than actually reading them. They'll never get to yours. Worse, what if they do, and they don't like it? You didn't make money off of them, and they leave a crappy review? Yeah, no thanks. Second, you can't ever, and I mean ever, use a paid service in order to get reviews on your books. Not only will Amazon take those reviews down, but there's a possibility you could lose your account, your book, and the world explodes. It's that bad. Now, that's twice I've mentioned reviews, so how important is that? Well, Amazon is a little cagey with their secret sauce, but there is supposedly a threshold where the number of reviews on your work will make the algorithm promote your book on its own. It also opens you up to BookBub feature ads, which we'll talk about next week. So, we do want a good number of reviews. The only way to get those reviews is to have people read the book. So, let's start there. My first suggestion is what's called a reader magnet. A reader magnet is a short story, usually a prequel or a prelude to your book, that you give away for free. Now, how is this different from my previous directive against giving stuff away? Well, the magnet allows you to profit in a very different way, but as you'll see, it's just as hard to convert those free readers into paying ones. So first, let me break it down. Like we've discussed on the World Building Dojo, we'll often want to follow a 3-act structure. My suggestion is what I did with Cora Blake, Arcane Agent, which is about 7 chapters at 3,000 words each. 21,000 words is easy. You can bang that out in a couple of weeks, even if you're kind of slow like me. 2 chapters for Act 1, 2, and 3, and then a wrap-up chapter that leads into your book or series. Easy peasy. We like writing, so this is a pretty cool task, right? Now, what we're going to do with our reader magnet is take advantage of websites like StoryOrigin.com. This is a website specifically designed to grow your audience. You can not only upload, but they actually will host your reader magnet with a cool landing page. So, now we've got a reader magnet and a place to put it. What's next? Well, regardless of how 2004 it might sound, your next step is to get your newsletter started. You can get one free at MailChimp.com, and they're super easy. Now, almost everyone is going to tell you to use MailChimp to get your newsletter started. However, they'll also warn you that it's not worth getting the paid version. That occurs when you hit the threshold of 2,000 subscribers. But DC, that's too far in the future to contemplate. Well, guy who talks to your monitor, it really isn't. If you're active and attacking the methods that I talk about today, you can hit that 2,000 threshold in a matter of months, even less if you're really successful. I clean my lists frequently, which means every few months I go in and I remove people that haven't opened my last 4 or 5 newsletters and unsubscribe them myself. The last time I did a big purge like that, I cut my mailing list down to like 700 people. And then once I got started going hard into building my list again after the purge, I hit 2,000 subs in 4 months. So, where do you go after MailChimp? Well, after you've hit that 2,000 threshold, I'd say go over to MailerLite. I've looked at others, and I settled on this one. I don't like the newsletter creation process as much as I liked MailChimp, but they are very affordable and they do everything I need them to do. So keep that advice in your back pocket. Now, we've got a MailChimp account and we wrote a reader magnet. What do we do with them? Well, now we storm the gates and find our audience. Okay, so the character of you as an author that you present to people is going to come out in your newsletter. This is an expression of your most extroverted side, regardless how introverted you are. So, who am I in my newsletter? Well, I'm the same as I am on YouTube. I'm the master of Kung Fu and friendship, crashing into people's inboxes with drunken tiger style. Is that the person I'd be if you met me? Well, depends if we're hanging out intimately for drinks or meeting at a convention. The face I want to put out there is always fun, silly, and love storytelling. Why do I mention that? Well, your newsletter should go out at least twice a month. That means that we're going to have things to talk about. Remember, we're still selling ourselves in these newsletters. They should be fun, but they should also be focused on you, your brand, the books you have out, and the ones you have coming up. So give updates on how you're doing with your work in progress, talk about the fun you had writing the last one, and or give ideas of future work that's coming down the pipe. So now that we've got that part down, what else? Well, as is customary with your mailing list, about 50% of the space in your emails will be rented out to other authors. What the heck does that mean? Well, we're going to be doing something called swaps. I'm going to advertise your books to my newsletter readers, and you're going to do the same for me. Again, we turn to Story Origin to get started, but you can also hit up tons of Facebook groups for swaps too. Story Origin's main function is a hub for swaps among all of its members, so no matter your genre, you're bound to find a dozen or so group promotions and individual newsletter swaps. After you've linked your newsletter to Story Origin, you can have a planning of dates when your newsletter goes out. Then you just fill out the application for authors that you want to swap with, and boom, just like that, you pile up a bunch of authors to include in your newsletter, and you're in every one of theirs. They use their own link tracking, so you can always tell who's sharing or not, although truthfully I've never had an author not on the up and up on here, so I really can't complain. Now, you joined some promos and swaps, wrote your reader magnet, and linked it to Story Origin. In the beginning, I really can't recommend enough that you have the reader magnet be the book you're swapping, not the book you want to sell. Right now, we're using the magnet to build our audience. So somebody goes to your landing page, signs up for your newsletter, and gets your reader magnet for free. But you just got a subscriber. Look at you go. So now you're starting to get an audience. Let's talk about reviews. You want word of mouth, right? Well, now we want to talk about ARCs, which are advanced reader copies. These are copies of the book that you give away to reviewers who will leave an honest review on your book. There are ARC groups on Facebook, again, so you have that option. But another one to consider would be booksprout.com. They're an ARC website designed to help you get reviews on your book. You upload the book to them for free, and then you set a time limit, and people will sign up and leave a review on Amazon or Goodreads or both. Again, this is really great if you don't have a street team yet. Now, what's a street team? Well, this is a group of your most loyal fans that will read your work in advance and post reviews day one when the book goes on sale. If you can put one together before you publish your first book, you are way ahead of the game. These early reviews and buzz are the kinds of things that make big launches for new authors. If you're the type of extroverted person that networks well, getting your street team together before your first book launch is an incredible advantage. I can't even understate how much. So, now you're collecting new subscribers every month, even engaging with them. How do you gauge success with this? Well, you're looking at reads, and you'll need months of data to know. So, keep your head down and focus on the work while the data rolls in. What you want to see is a good percentage of engagement. Fortunately, every mailing list service out there has the data on your open percentage and your click percentage. In a perfect world, 99% of all mailers you send out will be opened and 10% or better clicks out of it. But, being the real world, your numbers are going to be significantly less than that when starting out. At about the 3-month mark, you're going to start looking at your subscribers for people who have not opened your last 5 mailings. Remove them from your list. Yes, it lowers your subscriber count, which makes you quote unquote look bad when you're trying to get swaps, but having a high open and click percentage is more enticing to me than swapping with someone that has 18,000 subs but only a 6% open rate. All of this integration, these interlocked pieces of the reader magnet tied to your newsletter, which is then swapped with authors, and boosting our reviews with ARCs, is all leading to one end game. Eventually, you want to have 1,000 dedicated, loyal fans. These fans open every newsletter, get excited about your upcoming projects, review your books. This is the diamond class, the VIP of all your fans. These will engage with you, enter contests and giveaways, but more than that, they're talking to their friends about you. This is such a big deal. I don't even know where to begin with that. This small but rabid following is what makes your book launch a success book after book, so you want to cultivate that. To that end, I'd recommend reading Newsletter Ninja by Tammy Labrecque. This is one of the few how-to ebooks I actually do recommend because it isn't expensive, but her insights are pretty much dead on. She's better at explaining the ins and outs of making good newsletters and getting them engaged than I could ever hope to sum up in a single video. More than anything, she gives you the mindset of how to approach the beast and tackle it. To be upfront and forthright with everyone, none of these books or websites that I mention in this series are in any way promoting me. These are all books and services I've actually used to further my writing career after trying others and not having the success I was looking for. If you find a better one, good on you. As a matter of fact, let me know so I can try it out. In the meantime, there is one final thing that you can do to grow your audience, and it may not be what you expect. Writing is a hobby, a passion, and hopefully for you and I, a career. Once you get into the business side of things, it is easy to get bogged down in the minutia of, am I doing enough? Or did I screw this up? Or even, what are other avenues I should be doing? The truth of the matter is this. It is so easy, with the finite time that we have available to us, to push really hard on selling a book. But you may never find success with that one. Maybe not now, maybe not ever. What's really important, whether you're selling 20 books a day or 20 books a year, get your butt back in the lab. These days, writing is a contact sport. The more people you contact, the more books they buy from you. As such, having a large array or a wide selection of books is a key to success. Whether you're writing a series or have ideas for 10 different standalone books you want to write, get to writing them. As you're going to see next week, having a backlist of books is so important to the success of advertising. So, you need to build your backlist. Finish that series. Write that next book. As important as all of this growing your audience stuff is, believe me when I tell you, it gets easier the more books you have out there. I myself did not start finding success until I was in the middle of my second series. That's 8 books and a lot of mistakes before I started getting traction. Since I'm telling you all of my mistakes, it isn't going to take you 3 or 4 years to figure it out because you're going to be killing it way sooner than me, okay? You've got this. So butt in the chair and write stories. It's your job now, right? You wanted to be an author, you need books written to do that. Now, come on, chop chop. The video is over. Get to work. I'll see you next week when we talk about advertising your work. Boy, if you thought last week's episode was long. Growing your audience is a vital part of your road to success as an author. This video may be shy of 20 minutes long, but the work I've outlined for you in this step is going to take you months to do. Keep that in mind as you move to the next step. It is imperative that you keep writing and build up your backlist for any hope of long-term success. Thanks so much to all my fans out there and donations from you guys. This beautiful lady is Liana. She's 12 and on the spectrum. We're working with the Boston-based Needs organization to get this little lady a service dog. If you'd like to help, please check out the link in the description down below. While you're down there, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. The link is also in the comments, and you're going to get Cora Blake, Arcane Agent, totally free. You'll get cool news about what I'm working on books and here on the channel, and it comes loaded with cool authors and promotions for fantasy and sci-fi. Don't forget to like and subscribe to hear about new videos, and as always, I'm DC Ferguson. Now have fun and get crafting.